I'm excited to say that 2017 is actually off to a good start. I have Hidden Figures, and it's the true life story of the African-American women NASA employed to help put astronauts into space in the 60s. It stars Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, and Janelle Monáe, and they all play what were referred to as computers, which is basically a human who double-checked calculations before we actually had what we refer to now as computers. So they are actually doing the computations.
Okay.
Nice.
The film made me really happy because it was a double whammy sort of responsibility of representing women and minorities in the STEM field. And STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math, which are sort of just sausage fest, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And imagine them in like the 60s. I'm sure it was even worse. So I thought this movie did it really well. And I thought that's a lot of responsibility to carry. It was funny and it was dramatic when it needed to be. And it confronted the issue of segregation without really trying to shame you about it, because a film like this definitely has the ability to sort of make you feel uncomfortable. But I thought they handled it in a really inviting way to make you look at the issues, but also enjoy the film. Like you're not sitting there being upset or feeling shameful about the whole experience. A lot of movies about great thinking minds sort of get bogged down in trying to show you how smart the protagonists are, and in a way that sort of makes you feel like you're tuning out. You know, I'm thinking of like A Beautiful Mind, where he's sort of writing on the wall and you're just like, that's nice. Get to the point, solve the equation. I get it. You're smarter than me. This did not do that. There's definitely some of that in there, but they sort of reason through it in a way that is engaging, and you don't need to know the math to realize, like, hey, we're trying to put a guy in space. The outline of the plot is that these women were employed by NASA, and it's sort of the height of the space race, so the U.S. is scrambling to keep up and beat the Russians, and since it's based on a true story, we all sort of know how it ends. As someone who really loved space as a kid, I'm sure a bunch of us wanted to be astronauts and stuff like that. I was really excited by this film. I thought it was really fun. I kind of felt bad for not knowing a lot of the history there, so I'm really glad that this is bringing this to light. And I really hope that sort of adults and children of all races and backgrounds are inspired by this movie. But I really got to say, I hope, since tech does tend to trend towards a male-dominated field, that little girls are really inspired by this film. So I'm going to give it 4.1.
Whoa.
Wow. Nice.
Awesome.
Much better than the films at the end of the year.
Yes, definitely. Starting off 2017 strong, and I'm hoping we continue, and I hope I don't eat my words later this year. So I also have A Monster Calls, and my 2-word summary of this film is bring tissues. This film is such a sob fest. The trailer alone should tell you that.
Yeah.
It's about a little boy who's played by Louis McDougall, and it's always tough when you have a film that one of the main protagonists is a kid, because kid actors can either be really endearing or really annoying, and I did not find him annoying, and I'm one of those people who kind of tends to find younger actors a little grating sometimes. His mother is not well, and you can see that in the trailers. Again, I'm trying not to spoil anything. And it's played by Felicity Jones, who's also Jyn Erso in Rogue One right now, so she's about to just topple the box office. I'm pretty sure she's going to be number 1, and if not 2, number 3. The grandmother's played by Sigourney Weaver, which was really cool, because usually in my mind, Sigourney Weaver is always just Ripley from Alien.
Yep.
So she's always the scary, badass character, but she was really emotional and understated, and actually a little...
And mean,
And
right?
mean, but she was like... She was sort of scary in this, in a that could be your grandmother if you have an intimidating grandmother way. Emotionally cold. And Toby Kebbell's in it, who I'll forgive for Ben-Hur because of this movie. The monster is voiced and was motion capture performed by Liam Neeson, who is amazing. It's really cool. Go look up what the monster looks like. It's this sort of tree-ish creature that's scary and kind of reassuring at the same time. It's based on a book that I have to admit I never read as a kid, but apparently it was a good enough book to make into this great movie. The story is told through these amazing stories within the stories that are beautifully animated, so it looks like a painting. I haven't seen something like this beautiful in a really long time, and I won't go too much into the plot. And I don't want to build it up too much, but it's such a universal story, because love and family and illness and all those things are things that we all have to deal with. So I thought it dealt with it really well. And basically, if you don't cry, like, you should probably examine your emotional barometer a little bit. So if you aren't up for a sob fest in your first week of the new year, which I wouldn't blame you for, don't go see this movie yet, but I highly encourage everyone to go see this movie, and I'm going to give it 4 out of 5.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay, awesome. Wow. Well, I'm going to go see it tonight, as a matter of fact. And
bring tissues.
I bet you my fiance is going to cry more than me, so I'll have to give you an update next week on that.
How many tears will he give it?
Seriously, yeah.